broke, 30, unemployed from quitting a job without a backup plan. That was my life a few years ago. But you might be thinking, what does that have to do with today's job market? That's because this job market is very familiar to another time in history that some of you might be familiar with, and that's the dot-com boom. Many experts are saying that this time is comparable to that time. Either I wasn't qualified to get hired or I wasn't qualified to be promoted. I was a new grad working a variety of jobs, but none of them was enough to actually earn a living and support myself. I would say that was the ultimate low in my life. I remember having those thoughts. Is this really all I could do? And if you've been feeling that way, I've been researching today's job market, and I think there are some lies that we're telling ourselves and that we've heard from hiring managers, recruiters, friends, family, even people who mean well. As we know, so many people are struggling to find a job, and it practically feels impossible at times. So if you're believing these lies, they're actually very harmful to your mental health, and it can actually hold you back from achieving more than you know you are able to accomplish. About a strategy and a tactic that works for you in your unique situation, you can definitely come out the other side much more successful. Now, I've been unemployed several times, and I think the longest was 10 months of unemployment. So I know that feeling. Initially, it's scary, and then there's a part of you that's relieved that you don't have to do that rat race no more. But then there becomes a point when you know you've been applying to jobs that you are more than qualified for, and you keep being rejected. And then it starts to hit you differently. Are they right? Maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. And that's when it gets dark and lonely. You used to get up with a new, fresh energy, ready to take on the world, knowing you got skills. I mean, you've been hired before. There got to be something good about you. But all of a sudden, you're not getting a call back. See, now back then, we didn't have all the internet resources the way we do now. But I just started hearing more and more about this tech thing. Coding, programming, what's all this about? So I took a course and I just stuck it out. If you ever felt like breaking a computer, learning to code was one of those times when I felt like breaking a computer. I didn't have a STEM background. I was willing to challenge my own preconceived notions. I joined the meetup groups, I signed up for courses, I completed the projects, but that's not all it takes. I also made sure not to neglect other parts of my well-being, because balance is everything. I tried yoga, Pilates, meditation, because if you're an overthinker like me, you're all in your mind, and I needed to get out of the negative thinking that I was doing. If you find any value in this, it will help the channel to give it a like and share with other people who are going through this, who may find this helpful. And I know you're probably thinking, look, I already got responsibilities. I got a lot on my plate. I'm too old. I'm too this, to that. I get it. I was 30 when I decided to change careers and break into tech and start taking courses. And at the same time, we were starting a family. I remember grinding programming problems to the point that when I fell asleep, I was actually dreaming about this stuff. Speaking of dreams, if you have a dream career or a dream role that you're thinking about, maybe it's not working out. You've been putting in the work. Maybe you even have degrees. Maybe you have cert. You're getting the interviews, but you're not getting the offers. So you might be telling yourself at this point is that you can't do better. And that's a lie. That's our second lie, and we're gonna break that, right? It's not you. It's the economy. We need to think differently about what's happening. Right now, something terrible is happening to job seekers, but this time is very similar to the dot-com boom. So we're in a phase right now, which means it will eventually clear up. We don't know when. Some say when the interest rates go back down. Some say never. AI is replacing us. But we may not know when the tech jobs are coming back. But I think most importantly, we should be preparing in the interim. While all this is happening, you should be learning or growing. not stagnant. So please believe you're not the only one going through it. It's not you, it's not your fault. The job market, to be honest, is just straight trash right now, okay? If you know someone who got a job offer, now you really might feel a soul crushing type of energy that, wait, it's bad enough you're coming out of school or you are working a few jobs, you had some success, you thought you had it all together, you were showing people, friends, family, that you did it, you made it. And then you get kicked to the curb. Maybe you had the type of parents or people in your family who told you, no, don't job hop. Try to find a company you can stay with forever and ever. But you challenged that and you took a risk and it blew up in your face. I'm here to tell you, it's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. You have these corporations that's exceeded their profit margins and yet are laying off their staff. Something's not adding up here. Now you're in a situation where you're job hunting, where you have to decide if you're going to take or settle for a low-paying, toxic environment, rude bosses because they think they're entitled to a unicorn, or you gotta constantly work under threat that you might lose your job. When you ever gonna feel secure? We're told to work hard. If you just work hard, they gave you all these promises. You'll get promoted. And that leads me into the next lie, that they don't have the funds to hire you, keep you, or promote you. We all know the truth. AI, they told us, was going to create jobs, but actually it is taking jobs. It is replacing jobs. Yeah, sure. Oh, make some jobs eventually, but now we've seen firsthand why no job is safe from AI. Even if you're not a tech person, or at least that's what you tell yourself, what if predictions are showing that a lot of the new roles are going to require tech skills? We're discovering that there are roles that AI cannot replace, and those are human skills, soft skills. You want to increase your employability. Will you continue to invest in yourself despite no guarantee of getting a job? Because I've been researching the job market and I've come across some reputable resources that show at least a dozen jobs, mostly in tech, that are predicted to outlast AI for at least another decade or so. But there's also another dozen jobs that AI is going to replace. And you need to know what those are so that you can protect yourself and start planning your next moves. Now, I did a deep dive into the top 5 of those jobs. So if you want to see that video, you can click on the link here and you can watch that video on the top 5 high-paying, high-demand tech jobs that are predicted to last. If you have LinkedIn and Indeed, then you've seen firsthand how AI have practically destroyed LinkedIn and Indeed. What do you see now when you go on these websites? Almost all the top jobs are sponsored. The easy apply button, they might as well change that to you wish apply. And now 1 million applicants. At this point, you might be saying, is it even worth it to apply? And I don't blame you, because seeing that, you will want to quit. Throw this whole job market out, or just throw it out. We need to start over. We're ready for 2025 because it can't get any worse. I've had more success on LinkedIn, but it's becoming harder and harder between the ATS system, all of the sponsored content. It's harder to figure it out. But one thing I discovered was ChatGPT AI can actually be helpful here. If you open up ChatGPT and ask it, give me a list of job boards that serve small companies, medium-sized companies that may not post on LinkedIn. There are other industries that have jobs, and usually it's right on their website. So some might call this a hidden job market. Probably already watched dozens of videos on if you just optimize your resume, if you just optimize your cover letter, if you just optimize your LinkedIn profile. And yes, while they do have value and validity, the next lie that is often told is just apply. But that does not apply today. You cannot just apply under any and all circumstances. You have to be strategic now. And I'm sorry that some of you are not going to like what I have to say about this, but I disagree with just apply, just spam, just put it out there, because I've been there before and I know the feeling when you are putting out your resume, and especially when you come across a job and you're like, oh yeah, I know I got this. I got it all. I'd be dumb to pass up this opportunity to not apply. And you'll apply. You might even get a call back. And then you wait a few days, week, 3 weeks, nothing. Ghosted. And from my personal experience, this will do more harm. I won't say it was a complete waste of time. We have to learn to embrace the unpredictable nature of the job market now. So that might include accepting that there's a new normal now. There is no just a 9 to 5. Even if you were able to job hop every couple of years, the days of a 9 to 5 might be gone. Now you know not to use the easy apply button. Not unless it's less than 10 applicants, unless you have a unique skill set in a niche, in a certain technology or a certain framework that very few people have. And you know that with LinkedIn Premium, if you're using the free trial, it says you're a top candidate. Or you can use another method, which is called the Boolean search. In the search bar, you're going to enter in quotation marks, I'm hiring, and in capital letters, quotation marks, the job title you're looking for. If you want me to do a deep dive into that, leave a comment and then we'll see how many people are interested in that. Let's talk about failure. And for many people, this job market, getting laid off, fired, not getting a job, feels like failure, right? I did something wrong. I went to school, I graduated. Why am I not getting hired? But as we're witnessing the collapse of the 9 to 5 traditional job, this should force us to rethink and reevaluate failure in the career sense, because maybe the new normal is something different. Maybe it will be a combination of contract job, part-time, freelance, content creation, hobbies that you can potentially make money from, creating some kind of digital catalog, an ebook, maybe some combination of those, being an entrepreneur, working occasionally, maybe 6 months at a time. What do you think about that? I think we're starting to see a growing number of non-traditional and unconventional job roles now that are serving various purposes. A lot of it can serve the purpose of giving you remote opportunities, maybe in exchange for a very high salary. Maybe it won't be 6 figures out the gate. Maybe the starting salary might be $50,000, $60,000, but you can work from anywhere or work from home. Either way, failure and making mistakes is no longer the ultimate career killer anymore. I've seen stories come out, and maybe you have too, of people who have been laid off but have used this time to enter new ventures, to start a new business, and it ended up being a blessing in disguise for them because they were working so many long hours, or maybe there was a non-compete clause in their contract, so they couldn't take advantage of other opportunities. So now if someone tells you you need a computer science degree, you need a dozen certifications, you need a decade of experience in a technology that just came out last year, well, now you know they're giving you lie number 5. If only you had XYZ, you would have got hired, promoted, etc. How many times have you been in an interview just to find out later that someone else got hired, either had more experience, a certain degree, more degrees, a certain cert, or better yet, none of the above? They just knew somebody, right? So you know it's a lie. And they're going to tell you whatever fits the narrative at that time. So let this be a sign to go all in on you and your goals, to keep balance in your life, to not be hard on yourself. Reward yourself for coming this far. Thank you for including me in your journey. Until next time.